16 in it.
Okay, I want to do it, or Roland, in case you didn't know.
Okay.
I want to do a quick thing because we just experienced something that I haven't really covered before, and it happens on some handguns and on some M16s. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration kind of what we're talking about here. And my 1911 doesn't do it that much. So first I'm going to take an empty mag. And what holds this gun back, when you lock a gun to the rear, you're pushing something up, and the spring tension is holding tension on this to keep this from the rear. When you pull a gun back, you're going to see this little piece drop because I'm taking the spring tension off, and that's why it goes forward. Now I have to push this up when I lock this to the rear in order to get that to hold, and then the spring tension holds this. Because this isn't held for any other reason but the spring tension, if the spring tension on the slide is released in any way or fashion or form, it automatically lets the slide go forward. So, if I hit the gun hard from the bottom, sometimes it will do it. If I hit hard from the back, sometimes it will do it. You know, the slide just went forward. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that to the rear. On the backward mode, what's happening here is the weight and inertia has moved this slide back. It has done the same thing as if I did that, except I did it with the inertia of that. What happens sometimes when you're loading a gun or magazine, I'm going to go this way, he's down here. When you're loading a magazine, if you pound it in hard, this slide will go forward. Watch what happens when I slam this mag like I should. Alright, stupid gun. Maybe it has to have a loaded mag.
I remember my first time shooting.
Because it worked with a loaded mag. I'm going to put a loaded mag in here, and when I slam this in here, if I slam it in right, it lets the slide go forward. I didn't have to do that. Now you may think that's a malfunction. Something happened or something went wrong with the gun. There's a round in the chamber right now, so I'm going to go ahead and unload this. Drop that round. Basically what happened is when I slammed that round in there, it caused just enough inertia to make this bounce back. So, if that ever happens when you're low, I got my chickens coming in. Hi boys, hi girls. So, what happens is, when you're working a gun, if this slide ever goes forward unintentionally, you may think you have a malfunction. It's not. Basically, you bumped it. That is actually a technique, and when Glocks first came out, we used to actually teach that when we were training. When you slam that second round in, if you did it hard and right, it caused the slide to go forward, you were back in a fight quicker. It takes a step out of this because I slammed the gun in quick. So, it happened to him, and I had to explain it to him, and I go, you know what, I probably ought to cover that in case somebody experienced that same thing. If your slide goes forward and you don't know why, it's normally because it's been bumped or banged. If you're ever hurt and you don't have a second hand to pull back, I've talked about it before, people will use their leg. If I load a magazine, I need to get the slide forward, I'll just bounce it off my leg, and that removes that tension. It does the same thing. So banging it backwards will get your slide forward. Raking it across your leg will get it forward. Some people will hook it on a shirt or jacket or belt loop, and if you hook it, that'll get it forward. As long as you get this slide to move back 1/4 of an inch, it doesn't take much, you'll get your round in. If you're one-handed and you're in a fight and you got shot in your arm and you're holding the gun between your legs to slide a magazine in, you get this magazine, you can't, it's locked to the rear, you need to get that slide forward. You can bang it on your wrist, slide it, grab it, hook it on your arm. I've even heard some people, I don't do it, they've used their teeth to hook the sight. To me that would hurt, but if you're about to die, maybe it doesn't hurt. Maybe you're in that fight or flight, your heart rate's up. So that's what happens when a slide goes forward. It's not a malfunction on a gun. It's merely some sort of bang or impact has caused your slide to go forward. And that will load around. The problem with that, the negative to this, is if I slide a magazine in hard and it causes, oh, it won't do it because the magazine's empty, and it causes this action, I don't know if there's a round in there. Did I bump it before I got the mag in, or did I get the mag in and it loaded a round? Most of the time, if you do a round, it loads a round. But if I bump it while I'm loading and I miss hit and it goes forward and then I seat the magazine, there's not a round in there. Which goes back to your failure drill. If I squeeze the trigger, and the gun goes click, my immediate response is tap, rack, and I'm back in the fight. So it doesn't matter. A lot of people are always worried about what happened, etc. In a fight, you don't care what happened. You care the most cause of a magazine or of a gun not going off with a semi-automatic is a magazine's not seated or there's a bad round in there. Slapping takes care of the magazine issue. Racking it back gets rid of the bad round or good round, I don't care, and it gets a fresh round in. So it doesn't matter why the gun goes click. What matters is when it goes click, I'm back in the fight. All right, so we'll go ahead and end that there. Hope that helps on not a malfunction on the gun, and we'll end that there.